breakfast. Tuesday's a new day, on the new shit, sip do say. Just when I thought I'd done it all, you do me in a new way. Wednesdays bring a friend day, Latina Caliente. Don't care what your friends say, gonna do what you wanna do anyway. By Thursday, throw 'em back. Get lit, bust it for me, then throw it back. Clap, clap. Private show, I'm throwing racks. She got her own, she throw it back. How cold is that? How cold is that? How cold is that? Oh, that's cold.
Kyaire, it's your papa, and I'm very proud of you. I couldn't be more proud.
I am so proud of you, Kyaire. So proud of you. And I ask that you let God lead your path.
I love you more than words can ever describe, and you know I'm always gonna be here for you. I ain't got no choice, cause you ain't gonna let up. But you my boo. I love you, girl. I'm so proud of you too.
Kai, I love you. I can't wait to see what God has in store for you. I know Marlon loved you.
Congratulations to Kai. She's very resilient. She was able to graduate high school after a traumatic event. She was able to graduate college after a traumatic event.
God took her a long way and still carrying her.
I was born and raised in Glassboro, New Jersey. I was raised by my mother and my father, my grandparents, and a little bit of everybody. My mom was one of my biggest role models. She had me when she was 14 and a half, I guess, years old. But she didn't let, you know, the whole stereotype thing get to her. She graduated high school, she worked, she went to college, she did internships, worked full-time jobs. She got her bachelor's and her master's. I was able to witness her do all of that.
So I'll start from the beginning. I had Kyaire when I was very young. I was only 14 years old when I had her. I finished high school. I was able to finish high school. I worked. I didn't have another kid. There's no other kids linking around. There's no other kids in heaven. She was my only one. So I learned my lesson. It was a hard lesson to learn, but my goal in life from that point was to be the best mother that I could ever be for her. So everything I did was for her.
I would say I had a pretty good childhood. I grew up a little sheltered. I didn't really have a lot of friends like outside of school. I wasn't really allowed to go to like sleepovers and stuff like that until I got a little older, but you know. I guess growing up I would say that I was a daddy's girl. I grew up with both parents. My dad was absent a little. He was around, but he did miss a few milestones in my life. You know, he was in and out of jail for a little bit. He got out of jail my sophomore year of high school. I remember one day my mom let me stay home from school, and she literally never lets me stay home from school. So I think I don't know if I really did have a headache or I was sick or I just lied, but I was at my grandmom's, and he had walked in the house one day, and I was like really excited, like he had just got home. So everything was good for a while, So one day, junior year of high school, it was the summer of junior year going into senior year, my mom and dad and I had went to the beach. It was like we had a good beach day, and we never went to the beach by ourselves. It was always, you know, like the rest of the family. So we went to the beach, and we got home that night, and my mom, this is when she was really big into the gym, so she had left the house and went to the gym, and my dad was outside feeding the dogs, and I was in the room, and he asked me like what to get for dinner or whatever. So I thought that he had left to go get dinner. So I was sitting in my room, and I had my headphones in really loud, and I was listening to music, and I heard a noise. But I think it was raining that day. So I thought it was like thunder. So I turned my headphones off, and I was walking into the kitchen, and I heard like sporadic banging on the screen door, like really slow like that. So I opened the door, and I looked outside, and I didn't see anything, but I kept hearing the banging. So I looked, opened the door, and I saw my dad on the step. and he was just covered in blood. So I didn't know what to do. And he was like, call 911, call 911. So, like, if my dad tells me to call 911, I know that it's something wrong. So I'm like, oh my God. So I called, and the cops are like, you know, like, 911, what's your emergency? And I'm like my dad got jumped. Like, I literally was oblivious to the idea that, like, he got shot. So I actually thought that that was one of the worst days of my life. Luckily, everything turned out to be fine. You know, he got better. He got stronger. Everything was good. And when I went off to college, everything was, like, really good. Was fine. I came home one day for Thanksgiving break. And I remember I was driving. I had just pulled into the driveway. And I was on the phone with my friend. And I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm about to see my dad. I will go to Wawa, whatever. So I come home. And my brother opens the door. And I'm like, because it was like 10, 11 o'clock. My dad would have been up. All the lights in the house would have been on. So I'm like, where mom and dad? He like, oh, they in the bed sleep. I'm like, this early? He like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I didn't think anything of it. So I went in my room. And then my brother came in the room. And he was like, I have something to tell you. And I was like, what? He was like, Dad got locked up. So I was just like, I just start crying like instantly. I'm like, again, I never looked at him like a bad person or like a deadbeat dad or anything like that. I have a really good relationship with my dad. And after the shooting, I was always really close with him. But after the shooting, it made me like 10 times closer. The story with my dad. So he is currently incarcerated. In high school, I would say I had a pretty good time in high school. I cheered on the varsity football team. Senior year, I did win homecoming queen. That was a really big thing for me because all of the girls in my family were on court once they were in high school. And two of my aunts actually won. So it was really like important to me to win, and I won. I didn't really want to go to college at first. I just thought I wanted to stay home, go to community college and work. But my mom was like, no, you're going. And so I didn't really have a say. When it came to applying to colleges, I applied to Johnson & Wales University. I wanted to go to school for culinary arts. But I'm such like a homebody. So it was in Providence, Rhode Island. And I just thought, you know, that was too far. So last minute, I applied to Delaware State University. I just applied because it was kind of close. It would be not too long of a drive, and I also had family in Delaware. I decided that I wanted to join a sorority. I didn't really know anything about sororities or fraternities before going to college, and it's so weird because I used to watch Stump the Yard and everything, and I never thought that it was I'm slow. Like, I don't know why I never thought anything of it. I did make it into the sorority, so I'm a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I crossed spring of 2018, the end of, well, second semester of freshman year. I did meet this guy, Marlon. Junior year of college, moving in. He had moved in early, so he was already there. So I called him, and he helped my mom and I move in. Once again, I had so much stuff, so we were in there all day. He was complaining about how extra I was and stuff, right? He was moving the stuff in. So I was doing something in my room, and I think my mom was in the living room, and he was in the living room. And he was like, Miss Tiffany, like, why Kyaire always playing? Or, you know, whatever like that, because I always used to give him the runaround. And she's like, well, I know my daughter, so what are you doing that, you know, everybody else is not doing? So she put the little bug in his ear, and, like, since then, like, every moment since then, like, he was so consistent.
Remember her junior year, I moved her back to school. First, she used to talk to this guy on Facebook. I'm like, hi, who is that, and why he keep calling? Who was that? Marlon. So I moved her back in her junior year, and he helped me. And he was just like, yeah, Kai be playing, she be playing. I'm like, look, I know my daughter, she talks to a lot of people. I said, what are you doing different than everybody else? I said, you better show yourself approved. If you want her, then show yourself approved. And isn't that what he did? Yes, he did. He definitely did.
He was in the military, in the Air Force. So on the weekends, he had drill. So one day I was in my room, and he had came upstairs to my room with his uniform on. And I was actually on FaceTime with my other best friend from high school, Kelly. And he just kept on saying, like, stop playing, like, you know, let me treat you right. I'm about to be your boyfriend, all this other stuff. And I'm like, Mark, go sit down. Like, leave me alone. I'm not playing with you. Like, you doing all this. Like, go sit down somewhere. But he was so consistent. Like, he never stopped trying. Every day we would eat dinner together. Me, Jada, Alexis, and Mart. It was always Mart and my friends. We called them Homegirl Maria.
You gotta turn the speaker on to get the full effect.
And we were eating, and he was sitting on my end table when I was out of the living room, and he was talking, and I'm like he was just so mature and level-headed, and I'm like, maybe I am playing, like, let me stop being stupid.
And she's not. I was over here like, she's so smart. No, I'm not gonna lie.
But it was at the week after we had, me, my friends, and my mom, my aunts, we went to DC for my 21st birthday. And I don't know what hit me when I was there, but like, I like missed him a little bit, and it was weird. So I guess that's when I realized that, like, I really liked him. And after we left DC that Sunday, I was home. I was at my grandma's house, and I was taking a test, and Mark called me. So we were on FaceTime, and my mom was like, you like him? And I was like, no, I don't. Like, acting on Joe. When I got back to school, I think I stayed in his room, and I never went back in my room ever since. He used to always beg me to go out with my friends. Literally always beg me. And I used to be like, no, I don't want. I used to get mad. Like, stop asking me. If I wanted to go out, I would go out. I don't want to. So one day, I decided to go out. February 22nd. It was National Margarita Day. So I went to my line sister's house. She lives in Newark, Delaware, and her mom made tacos and margaritas. So we did that Friday night. And before I left that day, he was really, really tired. Like, he was so drained. He woke up. He went to all his classes. He came down. He came to the room. He laid down, and somebody called him, like, pick me up. Come pick me up and take me to campus or something like that. So he left. This was at 3 o'clock. He didn't get back till after 5. So he texted me about 3:30 in the morning that, you know, Saturday morning. And he said that he had just got home or whatever. And I'm like, okay. I was like in and out of sleep or whatever. So we were texting for a little bit. I'm like, what are you doing? He was like, playing a game. I was like, oh, you're not tired? He was like, no, I am. But they had told him that he had a free day on Saturday. So he thought he could sleep all day. So, you know, playing the game was something that he enjoyed doing. So he played the game. Our last text message was at about 5:56 a.m. So I figured he fell asleep. So me and my line sister woke up the next morning. We went to breakfast. We went to the mall so she can get something to wear for that day. We got dressed, and I texted him at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, asked him what he was doing. He told me that he was running around, so I knew that I couldn't really text him. So I didn't text him. So, you know, I went out. I had a really, really good time. Like I said, I never really go out, and it was the first time I felt comfortable going out. So we're on our way to our second spot. It's about 9-something at night. So we're about to get out and go to the place, and my phone rings. I'm like, oh, hold on, it's Miss Wanda. It was Mara's mom calling me. It was Mara's mom calling me.
And she's like, where you at? I was like, oh, I'm in Philly. Da, da, da. She was like, you in Philly? I'm like, yeah. She's like, ain't nobody call you? And I instantly, my heart just dropped. I'm like, why? Something happened. I'm like, what happened? She was like, Marlon got into a car accident. So my heart instantly just stopped and I started crying. And I knew, like, I know every guy thinks that they're a good driver, but Mar was really a good driver. And I knew that once they said car accident, I knew it had something to do with the Kappas. I knew it did. So I left Philly. I went straight to the hospital. I beat his parents there. I beat everybody there. I went straight to the hospital, but obviously they couldn't tell me anything because we're not married or I'm not family. So I went in the waiting room, and the first thing I saw was the Kappas in the waiting room. They were all sitting in the waiting room. So I'm furious because how is it that you here before his family? Your girlfriends are my line sisters. Right by the Smyrna exit, he fell asleep and crossed the median. And he got T-boned by 2 cars.
4 Delaware State University students got in a serious crash over the weekend. One is fighting for his life tonight, and his family says his life was put in danger before he ever got in the car by the fraternity he was pledging. The 23-year-old was the driver of the Chevy Impala. He had 3 other young men in the car when he crossed the median and drove right into the path of a pickup truck. His family believes the crash happened because he was being hazed, was severely sleep deprived, and dozed off.
My son wasn't getting any sleep, simply put. Wasn't getting sleep. He was getting, hit. There was, like, he was getting paddled and stuff like that.
In a statement, the fraternity tells Action News it has suspended operations of the chapter, pending an investigation, and will cooperate further with the Delaware State Police throughout the investigation.
He did tell me that he would do whatever it takes to become a Kappa, and he literally gave his life for it.
Safe haven. Rather go at it than not speak at all. How you made me feel, oh, it's dangerous. Oh, I would rather argue than me sleep.
God took her a long way and still carrying her. She's very bright, very beautiful. She's just like her mother. And I am so proud of you, Kyaire. So proud of you. And I ask that you let God lead your path. Let him take you in the direction that he will have you to go. And you will go. And you will come out on top. I love you. And I'm so proud of you. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Kyaire, it's your papa. I'm very proud of you. And God has blessed you a long way. He brought you a long way. I remember from when you was in the wagon. And now you're sitting up an adult, graduated school, and I'm very proud of you. I couldn't be more proud.
I just want to say that I am super proud of you. I remember when you were born, I considered you my own. I thought you was my child until you were like 2-3 years old and you were just like out of control. You were like the little Angelica from the Rugrats, with those gray sweatpants and those black patent leather boots that she would never, ever take off, ever. Every day we had to take her to McDonald's. Well, and Stephanie had to take her to McDonald's because she wouldn't eat nothing else. From sitting while we were in school with Aunt Stephanie and Cousin Cindy. Every day she knew everybody's business. But just watching you grow up into the young woman that you are today is amazing. And I thank God that I was able to experience that And I thank God that I am a part of your life. You know, you can call me anytime. I am always there, no matter what. You don't take, Mar is never, even when he was here, he was never 2 steps behind Kyaire, and even till today, he's never 2 steps away from her. He's in all of our hearts. We miss him dearly. He's always going to be with you, Kai. He's a part of all of us. So in honor of your graduation and in honor of his life, I just want to say I love you, and I am super, super, super proud of you, and I'm beyond proud to be your aunt. I love you.
So, one day I got this. Okay, for those who don't know, I'm Marlon's mom, Kai's boyfriend's mom. So this one day I got a call saying, Mom, I think I met the one. I was like, boy, you don't know what the one is. You're still young, you're still whatever. He was like, no, Mom, she bad. I was like, she bad, Mom? You think everybody bad? He was like, no, all I'm going to say is, when I bring her over, don't be all jawling and jawling, whatever word he be using, jawling, because you're going to fall in love with her because you always wanted a daughter and you was going to do this. And I was like, whatever. I was like, you know I'm not going to like her if she loves you too much. He was like, Mom, come on then, come on. So I met her, and then I fell in love with her. So she became Marlon's shadow. That's what she is in my phone. That's what she's always been. She's not Kai. She's Marlon's shadow. We clicked off the bat. I stand here today for Marlon, on behalf of Marlon. I would not have missed this day for the world. I made it known to my family that this was important to me. Not knowing what was going to happen with my son, I felt that I was obligated to be here to represent him. First of all, I don't need nobody slapping me in my face because I didn't come here. Kai, I love you. I can't wait to see what God has in store for you. I know Marlon loved you. He always told me that he wanted you to learn to be independent, that you depended on your mom too much. And he told me everything. He was like, Mom, you wouldn't believe the stuff she asked her mom to do. I was like, well, Marlon, that's your girlfriend. You have to steer her in the direction that you want her to be in, which is the right direction, which is to be independent, learn to do things on your own. And I can stand here today to say that in the 6-7 months that he's been gone, I've seen that change in you, that you started to develop your own way. I could be here all day, but to know that you're stuck with me. You're stuck with me for life. I'm not going nowhere. So whoever ends up with you next, they have to deal with me. Marlon,
it's hard to get approval. He's the only one I approved of.
You were his everything, and I feel him in you. And I felt you in him. I love you. Congratulations.
Hey, girl. Why do we need this? Go. Hey, girl. Hey.
I don't even know what to say. I'm just saying that I'm happy for you, and you're like a sister to me. And she's Zoe's godmom, which is my daughter. Her and Mar, well, Mar was the goddad too. Well, is the goddad, and I don't know. I just love you. I don't have nothing to say really, and I got your back. You know, with anything. So. Yeah.
Where do I begin with this one? So we're 10 years apart. I'm her aunt. No, we're not doing that tonight. Okay. I'm her aunt. She's correcting me and saying aunt. So when Kai was little, I was 10 years old. And y'all, I ain't like her. No. I used to do some effed up stuff to Kyaire when she was little because she used to do some effed up stuff to me. Woo! And she took my position as the baby. But let me tell you something. We got memories for days, and I want to let y'all know Kyaire is literally my first best friend. We grew up together. What can I say? We did everything together from when she threw that 10-cent Acme can of orange soda in my face, and I couldn't hit her back. From when I dropped her on the ground when she was a baby. It was an accident. But no, just kidding. No, but Kai, I'm telling you, this girl gets under my skin. She always got me doing something I ain't got no business doing. She know I work overnight. She don't let me sleep. Koi, can you go get pictures printed for me? Koi, what you doing? Koi, can you get up? Koi is tired. Koi, can you send me some money? Koi ain't got none. Okay, I live with my mom. Hello. But if I got it, boo, you know it's yours. I love you. You know, when we lost Mar, when we gained an angel, like, you weren't the only one who lost him. You weren't the only one who gained an angel. Like, I'm telling y'all, I think about this boy night and day. I just don't share it with nobody because it's too emotional. But he is looking down on you. He is looking down on everything that you do. He is, along with God, guiding your steps. Don't you ever forget that. I love you, love you, love you more than words can ever describe. And you know I'm always going to be here for you. I ain't got no choice because you ain't gonna let up. But you my boo. I love you, girl. I'm so proud of you too. Singing in the background.
Not ready.
All right. Jokes aside, Kai is Kai because of me. The glamour and the beauty. I remember when I go to high school, she used to just sit and stare at me when I did my makeup. And I don't know, I just can't never yell at her. Every time I yell, and she started crying, I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
You don't worry about it.
But I'm just so proud of you. I really am. That's just really it. I'm just proud. There ain't really much to say. But I love you. You gorgeous. Yeah.
You should go last year, everybody else go. There you go. Anybody else want to go? Hi everyone, I'm Kai's mom. Where do I begin? Miss So I'll start from the beginning. I had Kyaire when I was very, 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 very young. I was only 14 years old when I had her. I finished high school. I was able to finish high school. I worked. I didn't have another kid. There's no other kids linking around. There's no other kids in heaven. She was my only one. So I learned my lesson. It was a hard lesson to learn, but my goal in life from that point was to be the best mother that I could ever be for her. So everything I did was for her. So I was able to graduate high school. I went to college and I also got my master's, and she watched me.
Let's celebrate you coming up next year.
I worked 2 jobs, had an internship. I did everything for her. And then I remember her junior year, I moved her back to school. First, she used to talk to this guy on Facebook. I'm like, Kai, who is that and why he keep calling? Who was that? Marlon. So I moved her back in her junior year and he helped me. And he was just like, yeah, Kai be playing, she be playing. I'm like, look, I know my daughter, she talks to a lot of people. I said, what are you doing different than everybody else? I said, you better show yourself approved. If you want her, then show yourself approved. And isn't that what he did?
Yes, he did.
He definitely did. So he definitely, very, very nice. He's the only guy that Kai ever talked to or called herself, because he's her only boyfriend, because she had one before, but they were her little friends. She was never allowed to have a boyfriend. So Mar was her only boyfriend. He's the only one that I ever approved of. So whoever is next has some big shoes to fill. I never had a worry in the world when she was with him, ever. Yes, I love Mar dearly. He used to get on my everlasting nerves. Miss Tiffany, tell me you love me. You don't love me. You miss me. You know what I mean? So he would always say stuff like that. But that's my baby. Yeah. That was him all the time. That's my baby. Hey, Mom Dukes, what you doing? Whatever. You want to get some crabs? You want to go get a cheesesteak? Always trying to feed somebody. You hungry? You sure? But anyway, I don't know what else to say, but Mar was the one. So again, whoever comes after him has some big shoes to fill. Because I don't play. And if you don't come correct, don't come at all. Amen. But I just want to say congratulations to Kai. She's very resilient. She was able to graduate high school after a traumatic event. She was able to graduate college after a traumatic event. And not only did she graduate, her last year she had all A's and B's. Kai had the Dean's list. She's been on the Dean's list for like 6 marking periods or something like that. 6 marking period, and she's in the honors leadership or something about leadership, some Greek stuff. So I just want to say I'm very, very, very proud of you, even though I get on your everlasting nerves all the time, but you know what I say is right, and you know I say it because I love you and I don't want, you know, nothing to hurt you or happen to you. So, you know, I got your back all the time, even though I might say I don't, but you know I do. And I want to thank you, Miss Wanda, just for being the mother that you are, for accepting Kai, and just for, you're so resilient and you're so strong. You're the epitome of strength. I don't even know how you do what you do, but I love you, and you're always going to be in our family.
Got a weakness, oh no. You drive me crazy. That's my baby. Can't get enough of you. Baby, it's something that you do. Can't get enough of you. Baby, it's something that you do. You're the only one for me. Only one for me. Only one for me, only one for me, yeah. Only one for me, only one for me, girl.